Hey folks, oftentimes when I make a video I have a whole lot of excess footage that gets trimmed out. That being the case, this is a second video, additional footage from my last video of the Bushcraft oven that I made and the bread that I baked. Yes, doggies. So my main videos are still going to be Saturday mornings, and then during the week I'll try to put out a couple more. People have also been asking what kind of weapon I carry. This is a 357 that my brother and I got when we were younger. We got consecutive serial numbers, so he has one and I've got one. It's the 1873 Colt replica. Granted, we were young, so these are cheaper models. It's not an exact replica. It's got the floating hammer, not the original hammer. But I'm really sentimental when it comes to weapons, so I really proud to carry it around. I'll talk more about it, and there will be more shooting in the future. I just there's so many gun-related videos. I try to focus on other aspects of the Old West. So, but that doesn't mean I don't love guns, and it was long overdue, at least telling you guys what I carry. Now, it's not authentic to the 1860s either. I'm still working on which one to carry for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's roll this one. Hey, folks. Thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, where I'm exploring life free from the shackles of society. Life is a lot more fun over on the wild side. All right, I think I'm happy now. I've got my poncho here blocking the wind. I've got this tree anchoring that down. And I've got this canopy right over the fire. I suspect this is going to be plenty warm. And I've had some wind earlier, and it seemed to be fine. So I think all's good. I gotta put my stick up. Also, what I love is being able to just get out. Well, I can't when there's a fire going and the stick is in the way. So I guess it's the same problem. For my cooking experiment, I gotta move this rock over to my camp. How in the world am I gonna do that? Well, for one, I'm stronger than I look. We'll see if that is adequate. I feel like I look funny. I did it. So I was gonna bring a shovel with me for my cooking experiment, but my hands were full. And then I realized while I was down here, hey, there's a lot of flat, sharp rocks. Let's see if that'll do the trick. How about this? Almost done here. Check it out. So I put in smooth as I could base. These little rocks are gonna help collect heat. That's the theory. I found some pretty good rocks to build the sides. And that big rock I carried down is the cap rock. So let's see if this works. Just got to plug a hole here. Whoops. All right, how do we patch this? You take the high road and I'll take the low road. And I'll be in Scotland before ye. Darn. Nice. What do you think? Does that look like an oven to you? Let's check the old phone here. It's 6:30. I've learned that it takes a good 4 or 5 hours to heat up the oven properly. That would make it 10:30 at the earliest, and I'm going to be long asleep by then. So I guess I'll do it tomorrow. I had to come up to put my chickens away. 12, 13, 14. Chickens. See you in the morning. Well, I had a miserable night of sleep. I got up at 4 o'clock, had a fire going by 4:07. Had coffee by 4:30 or so. So, a couple of people mentioned using hot rocks, and I think that's a really good idea, especially after last night. But so far what I've been trying to do is go bare minimum for sleeping to see what I can tolerate, so that I know when I'm out in the mountains, hey, it's this cold, I'm gonna need this tonight. It's this cold, I'm gonna need this. So that's the goal, is to really get more familiar with what my body can tolerate. A lot of it's laziness. Just don't feel like putting together a good bed, and that's fine, I don't care. It's my choice how much roughing it I want to do. Well, I'm excited about today. In a little bit I'll get my fire started in my new oven, and then I got to go up and let the chickens out of their coop, and then I'll come back down here and bake some bread. I was gonna wait till it starts to lighten up, and then I'll head on back. I really like this tent design. Well, I really like the potential of this tent design. I've got it in my mind what I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna make one, and then I might even talk to a company and see if they'll make it for me so that people can buy it reasonably, affordably. But I'll demonstrate it. I'll make my own and I'll demonstrate it, and see if people can like it. I think they will. Oh, it's pretty light out already. I got kind of a late start. It was still dark and I was looking for my salt and I couldn't find it. So I got my breakfast started late. So as soon as it was done, I just grabbed half of it and ate it on the go. But it's neat about this thing about not using light. Any normal time, I would have immediately grabbed my cell phone and turned on my flashlight, and thinking that I needed it, but I didn't need it, because I kept searching and it turned out it was under my bedding, my little bag of salt. So flashlight wouldn't have helped. I had plenty of light from the campfire. But anyway, I like those little tests. It shows just how dependent I can be on things and when I don't need to be. So that was kind of cool. I wouldn't mind some mittens right now though. This wind is cold. But also I haven't worn a coat since yesterday when I walked to the camp for the first time. All through the night I didn't wear it, although I kind of wish I would have. My vest is only cotton in the back. It's not wool, it's only wool up front. And I forgot about that, so I was a little bit cold on my back. It might have been warmer if I had my coat on. Oh, I would have been. But anyway, that's the fun stuff. I love going through these struggles. Most people don't want to put themselves into a struggling discomfort situation, but in my experience, it's always my best memories. When I went to Italy a few years ago, long story short, I ended up walking in the woods in the middle of nowhere, pitch black at midnight, and then up a really spooky corridor of an old castle at about 2 o'clock in the morning, all by myself. And at the time I wasn't so happy about it. I mean, it was pretty cool in a way, but in retrospect that was probably my favorite part of the trip. So it's always the struggling that's most memorable and enjoyable in looking back. Same with these walks. I wouldn't normally go walking 2 miles at breakfast time, but because of my animals I have to, or I want to take care of them, so I do it. But you know, it just makes it more of an adventurous trip. So there's a lot more fun in life when you just change your perspective. So I just got back and started the fire back up, and this big rock is too hot to touch, like to keep my hand on. So I think this is rocking. Forgot that I wasn't boiling my water, so I got a little too hot. That got the grit in it. So now we'll use the clean water. And we'll wait for that to cool off now. By putting it on the cold ground that made me so miserable last night. My breakfast turned out okay. Until you look at the other side. But seriously, I don't mind that. And now it says to add in the flour 1 cup at a time. But since I'm out camping, I got limited bowls and platforms, etc. So I'm just going to add it in a little bit at a time. Make sure I got these dry ingredients mixed up. Whoop whoop. All right. Doesn't that look fun? Here I am, enjoying nature, making a yeast bread on a bake oven. Nobody's asked me why I have a passion for these bake ovens that are crudely built. Well, it comes from my history down in Central Oregon. Near Shaniko, there's an old town that doesn't exist anymore called Bake Oven. And the story goes a German immigrant was traveling through there and his wagon broke down or his mule died or something. Anyway, he got stuck there, and he decided, well, I'll just do what I know how to do, which is bake. So he built himself an oven out in the middle of nowhere on this wagon trail and started selling baked goods to other immigrants passing by. And it became a little settlement. It had a schoolhouse. The schoolhouse moved up to Shaniko and is still there now. Oops. And when I heard that story back when I was 16 or 17, I was making biscuits and cornbread at the time. And I was just enamored by the thought of a crudely built oven. I just couldn't imagine how it was even done. And that it could be done. Because I was into baking at the time. So now, years later, I figured it out and I finally done it. And so I'm just thrilled about it. And I'm really thrilled about this one. Especially using a stone shovel and no other tools. So I'm pretty excited. And I think it's going to work. I'm pretty confident. With that rock being as hot as it is, I think if anything it's going to cook too hot. I'll have to be careful not to burn it. Love the smell of yeast bread. Smells good. So I think it's ready to be put aside and covered. Good thing I packed that egg in this white t-shirt. Oh, it's not big enough. I know. That'll work. I wasn't watching and I burned my bag. But of all the 4 corners it could have burned, that was the best one for it to happen on. So, little blessings amidst the trials, amidst the stupidity. I should have been watching closer, for crying out loud. It's time for work. Hey. Now I'll give it 30 minutes. This bread smells amazing. Darn, it's almost a shame having it without butter. Alright, I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah, that's good. I want to do this in the mountains someday. Well, it's time to go home, but not before I eat some fried potatoes and vegetables. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Time to go. Well, thanks a lot, folks, for watching. And by the way, I've got my Facebook and Instagram links in the description. I try to keep those up daily, so if you want to follow me there, you can. On Facebook, I do post a few of my controversial anti-society thoughts. In Instagram, it's just pictures and fun things. So until Saturday, I'll see you guys later.